sin. I won't ever slack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Jump, 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 jump.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another great week of Twisted Transitionz. Yes, sir. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show for you. We've got DJ extraordinaire, the first female of Lady Gamecocks, DJ Shejay T.O. She'll be joining us in just a little bit. We're going to let you guys go ahead and jump in the room and come on in and chat with me for a second here while we wait for Shejay to come on through. Appreciate you guys coming through and stuff tonight. If you're watching this on replay, appreciate you watching this on replay because a lot of views come from that. So, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. We got some people in the house already. We got Mr. Freddie After Dark. What's happening? DJ KP in the building. Now, Freddie After Dark, you asking questions and stuff already, my guy. So I will tell you that intro came from, I think that was like stock footage from like Shutterstock or wherever they have stock footage at. Like I think I purchased it a long time ago. But yeah, that came from that. And then the bomb blowing up came from that as well. So, you know, that's where I got the footage and everything from. So that you guys, so I can have a decent intro, and I probably will never change it because it just makes sense. So, you know, it is what it is. While you guys are coming in, if you definitely are ready for a great show today and appreciate all the content that's coming out, make sure you hit that thumbs up button just so it further along the video. And plus, we want more people to be introduced to our special guest today. So definitely hit that thumbs up so the video will be passed forward. We got DJ G Kenny in the building. What's good? What's good? He's our moderator extraordinaire. We got Wickham. Now, Wickham, I literally have been saying your name wrong. Literally, I noticed that on the last stream because I tried to go back and look at it one time to make sure that I didn't say too much crazy stuff. And I've been saying your name wrong. I believe it looks like Wickham. So Wickham. So I'm hoping that works and stuff for you. So thanks for responding to my inquiry on the speakers last week. Helped me upgrade a decision. Going to skip the 44s and get the RCFs. That's what's up. DJ G Kenny, DJ I am Chase. What's good? What's good? Spin Griffey in the building. What's happening? DJ Eric. What's good? What's good? Okay. So our special guest today is in the green room. So let's welcome her in. This will actually be my first time meeting her as well. So I've got a lot of great questions. Make sure that if you have questions that you hashtag ask in the chat, because I know I've got some great questions for her today. And without further ado, let me get rid of stuff on the screen here. You know, I got to be everybody. I am the editor, the producer, the host, the everything. So I got to make sure this is right. Hopefully I've done everything else right. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in our special guest today, Shejay T.O. That's what I'm talking about. What's good? What's good?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
All right, there we go. Now I got my headphones on. I can hear stuff. There you go. Look, she's checking to make sure she's good in the belt. That's what's up. So,
how you doing?
I am doing great. It is nice to finally meet you. A lot of people don't know, but we DJ in the same city, and she was recently at an event that I was doing as well, and I had no idea that she was downstairs. I had no idea. I was doing the Boo at 2, and there was another DJ downstairs playing music, and nobody told me who it was. Nobody ever said who it was or anything, and so it was crazy to find out that it was you. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. We got to link up. We've got to get her on the show, and we got to chop it up with us. So, Oh my
And I've
goodness.
been following you for a while. I know you do your thing. Like I've been wanting to link and meet with you for a while. So it was just kind of like, whoa, when you reached out, I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome because one thing I like to do on this show is I like to bring new faces. I like to not bring just the same old caliber of DJ, and you are the first female DJ that I've ever had on the show. It is very tough to get women to not think that I'm trying to reach out because I'm in their DMs trying to get them to come on the show. So it's like when you respond to yes, I was like, oh, thank you.
Nah, I knew you were super professional and
Yeah,
OG, so it was an
absolutely.
honor to even be asked.
Oh man, so I actually had to do a little deep dive and stuff on you, but I definitely want you to be able to tell this audience, how you got started. I mean, I know what you do, but you do some great stuff, by the way. Like I've seen, when I was doing my deep dive, I went back and just kind of saw some of the content that you were putting out, and you do everything. Like you do from the most basic gig all the way up to like some high end stuff. Like even today, you were doing something earlier today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do. A lot of what I do is our annual events. So I
Okay.
like to say, I'm definitely almost like a repeat queen. If you call me once, my goal is for us to now we're doing this every year. And I did hear as of when did I do that? Friday.
Mhm.
Friday I was at R2I2 again, and they were like, "Yep, we're gonna have y'all back next year." They gave me the date already, so
Oh
we're
wow, you
both
got the
locked
date
into
already.
Moet too. Yeah, yeah, I already got the date. So, and
That's
that's
what's
my
up.
goal with every event. So, like today, I wasn't DJing today, but I
Okay.
also own photo booths and a little bit of everything. We gotta wear like 13 hats.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, I own photo booths, and I've been doing Dawn Staley's grandparents' breakfast for now. I think this is the third or fourth year that I've been involved, and it's just the easiest way for us to make sure that everybody that comes gets a picture with her. They get it right then, printed it out. And it's literally like the fastest way to make it happen. So I do stuff for coach outside of the basketball games, and that's what I was doing this morning. So
Okay.
always working. It's very rarely a day off.
Yeah, you are definitely always working. You are
Yeah.
always doing something. I think when I was trying to like confirm the show, if I'm not mistaken, like you were at an event and you had a one the next day, and
Yep.
then I think you had one the day before that. You're like, I just didn't have time to send it, but I promise you, I'll send you stuff, and we'll get it
And
going.
that's
I'm like,
that's the
man, she's
story
a
of
busy
my
woman.
life.
Yeah, it's
That is
nuts,
literally
but
the story. I'm trying to get some help. I'm getting to the point where it's like, you get to the point where it's like I might have done all I can do by myself.
right.
Now before people start, talking bad about me, I don't respond. I don't do. Let me go ahead and find some help because
There
it's
you go.
like
There
it's
you go.
just
I
all.
had
And I try to tell people like I can't work because I'm working. So like
right,
when I'm working, I don't get any work done, right?
right,
Like so it makes sense to somebody like you get it, but they're like, what do you mean? Like
right.
when I'm working, I don't get any work done, so I can't reply to emails and all of this while I'm DJing or doing something else.
Facts. I mean, that's crazy for you to be that busy the way you need like a personal assistant, somebody to just kind of keep all of it straight and kind of be your eyes when you are doing something, when your hands are doing other things. So I mean
Yeah.
that's
But
really
I'll,
nice.
I'll say just to clarify, because I don't want nobody to think like, dang, you really, no, DJTO is not to that level in my mind. Like I could be doing more, but I also own a company, Dimensions Entertainment, where I have four other DJs who work with me. I don't say under me, they work with me. And I have a photo booth company. It's literally at this point a standalone company. It wasn't supposed to be. It was really just like, well, I'm already at these events, and my husband used to be with me at every event, and was like, well, if we have a photo booth, you could do something instead of just kind of hanging out with me playing on your phone.
True.
And so that's how the photo booth started. And now it's turned into its own company, and legit, like if you Google, photo booth rental in Colombia, like I'm number one on Google. I've worked to get it to that point. And so I have seven staff members on that. So it's like
Jeez.
managing everybody else is
Right.
the issue now. Like I can manage myself,
Right.
but it's like, man, like now trying to all these moving pieces is getting
Yep.
to be a little. because I just want to focus on me.
Right.
Like I don't even really promote myself that much now because it's like trying to do all of these other parts and make sure everybody else stay working.
That's what's
I
up. I
think
mean,
if it
look,
was just me, I'd be all right.
right. And, I come from, similar backgrounds as well. I was actually with a company and then I kind of branched out on my own. And it got to the point where I had no choice. I had to have help. I was getting overwhelmed. It was a lot coming at me. And I'm like, somebody's got to take some of this stuff off of me. And the good Lord knew exactly who to send me. And he sent me DJ Mike. And it has been great. He's been taking some of that pressure away from me. And one of the most nerve-wracking things, and I know you experienced this, is your company and your name is on the line. So when you send somebody else out, it's like, oh, like I can't even focus. I remember one time he was at a gig. It was the first time me and him ever linked up, and he was at a gig. I couldn't even focus on what I was doing. I was like, are you good? Like, is everything good? Like, did you get it set up? He's like, bro, take a chill pill. I got you. Trust me. And it kind of put me at ease, but I was still thinking about it. I think I messed up like probably on 4 mixes that night. It was rough. It was rough, but I've gotten better at it. I just know that reputation is everything. Like Google and these reviews, it is every day. It's our lifeline, especially when we don't do like big advertisement, like, come find us here. It's like, no, like Google does it all for you. As soon as somebody types in photo booth rental, they're going to find you. And then your company's name is on the line as soon as you send somebody else out there. So I totally get that. But let's rewind back here. Let's go back in time here. Let's go back to the very beginning and how you got your start. So how did you did you always want to be a DJ, or did you kind of land in it? Were you like the person who always did music or anything? Like how did you land in doing DJ?
Kind of both. Like I landed in it, but I wanted to be a DJ. So
Okay.
I'm from a very small town. It's called Ridgeland, South Carolina. It's very, very small. The only way most people would know about it is if they were traveling on the way to like Florida or Savannah. We were right off 95. So there's not a lot of resources, not a lot of opportunities, and definitely not a lot of DJs that I could even reach out to and ask for advice or help. Um, and so I was the kid. You remember BMG in Columbia House? You remember the 7 CDs for $1
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
a
Yeah.
penny in it,
Yeah.
right? So I was the kid that was ordering. I probably helped put them out of business. I was the kid ordering all these CDs and just kept. They had a horrible business model because they
Yeah.
just kept letting me change the name,
Yep.
and my mom was like, "Stop ordering these CDs," but she got off work late and she didn't go home until like 6:30. Maybe 7 o'clock. So by the time I could get them in the house, she wouldn't even know I got them. So I was just ordering CDs from both companies. So before I even went to college, around like '04, the iPod came out. So I think I got one in like maybe '04 or '05, and I started converting all the CDs to digital files and all that. So like I had a 500 gig hard drive in high school. Like I had most of the music, not a
Mhm.
lot of clean, because of course they're albums. Um, and so I wanted a DJ, and I asked my grandmom to buy me this DJ set out of Finger Hut, and she was like, no.
Finger Hut.
And and like I tell everybody, that's the best thing that could have happened. Like I'm so thankful that she did not buy that,
Mhm.
because I for sure wouldn't be doing it today. Because I wouldn't have had the guidance, I wouldn't have had the advice of anybody. Like I would have probably tried, it wouldn't have worked out. It probably would have been trash equipment. So it just wouldn't have been a good start, and then I would have gave it up. Like, all right, I
Right.
tried that, keep it moving.
Right.
So thankfully she didn't do that. When I got to college, it was still kind of like in the back of my mind, like, man, I would love to do that, but not nothing serious. So I pledged Delta. I think my end of my sophomore year or going into my junior year, I pledged Delta, and then I was now always the one bringing music for every event.
Mhm.
And so anytime we'd have a DJ on campus, I'm standing next to him, like, man, what you got there? Like, how you do this and this, that, and third. Like, I just always found myself next to trying to learn. And so after I played Delta, one of my line sisters, she was like, well, I know a couple of DJs because she used to put together events at USC. And she was like, I can reach out to a couple. And so she reached out to one at first because she reached out to we thought DJ Frosty was too busy because at the time he was on radio like 7 days a week. He was like that guy in the
I
clubs,
remember.
everything. So we was like, nah, we're not gonna reach out to Frosty because he doesn't have time. Like, just I'm pretty much, putting his schedule for him. So we reached out to a different DJ, thinking like, oh, he's not as busy, but he's on the radio and everything. So let's reach out to him. And he basically was like, giving me the runaround, like he wasn't interested. So we went back, circled back with Frosty. Frosty was like, yeah, let's do it. Basically he would tell me where he was on the weekend, and I would have to harass him to even get that. And so whatever he would tell me he was gonna be, like, I'm gonna be at Level this day and Ice and this, and I would just show up. Like, I would get there at like 9:30 when I knew they would be setting up or loading in, so I could go in with them. He wouldn't let me DJ, so I really just watched. Like,
Right.
he would tell me what equipment to get or what he would recommend. Like, so it really helped. I didn't get a lot of hands-on like at his events. But now I knew what equipment to buy. I knew where to get music. If I really needed something, he would send it to me. He never sent me like his hard drive. So it's kind of crazy to me that now like new DJs will be like, "Can I get a copy of your hard drive?" Like I would never, because nobody gave it to me.
Right.
This is 14 years of building.
Right.
I can't just give it to you.
Right. Right.
So like if I really needed a song, he would then send that song.
Right.
But I just literally, for probably God knows how long, I would just show up for free. I'm Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You in the club? I'm in the club.
Right.
Like, and like I said, he had an opener DJ at the time, so it wasn't really a spot for me to open. But I knew like they definitely respected. Like, dang, she still coming around. Like, she's not making no money. At the end of the night, he's passing out money to his host and the DJ, and I'm just like, yeah, yep. Like, but I'm there, I'm there. It's almost like an intern. Like, I legit was like the old school interns, like, which I need. Carrying stuff. I really got it out the mud. So that's why I love to see new DJs and I respect it, but to an extent, I can't respect you just being able, like, you have a good job, so you could just go in the Guitar Center and buy like what I have,
right,
and on Monday, and then you like book me for your wedding on Friday. Like, I don't respect that, because that's not how I got it. But yeah, so I learned that way. So whatever I would see them do or see him do, then I go home and practice. So I started on Tractor.
Okay.
And then I switched to Serato once I found out about it, because I'm like, Tractor's just a little too hard for no reason. Like, it's
for no reason.
It's like complicated for no reason at all. Like, why? So I found Serato, and I was like, all right. So now we using different software. To this day, he uses Tractor. So now I have to, of course, try on my own, but yeah, I pretty much just, that's how I started, and I would start doing events on campus. I did the $150 events on campus, and that's where I started. So, also that's another reason why I'm like, dude, these new DJs are different. Like, y'all trying to start out the gate at $600.
Coming out the gate strong.
like what? So yeah, I did the events, and it's funny because my very first event, I had this old Dell laptop. It was my school laptop. It was like the screen was half falling apart. I had turntables. I got one from a sound guy named Beer. It literally had spray paint Beer on it. And I got one off eBay. So they were like mismatched. And I got this $100 Gemini mixer, but I was in the game. I got my tractor box. I'm good. But one of the guys, when I got everything, they came to my house and set it up for me. So it was crazy because I technically didn't know how to set my equipment up.
Oh.
So I go to this event because I had never broken it down. I use it at home. So in my mind, like, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But when I got to this event, I couldn't get it to work because like, I don't know how to set it up.
Right.
I don't know which wire go with what to make it work. And so I ended up having to call a friend, DJ T-Mobile. So he came out there. My laptop was like leaning against a box trying to say it. It was just like when I say I got it out the mud, I worked to get here.
Yeah.
And so, but I appreciate the journey, and I appreciate, like I said, the best thing my grandma could have did was not buy that equipment, because I bought my equipment, pieced together the turntables. The mixer was $100. My speakers were $500 total. It was off eBay, 2 for $500.
Yep.
And so, and I bought all that with a refund check. Like, And
Oh
like I
wow.
got a loan and I just got the refund check. So I appreciate it more because now, okay, I got to pay this back. Sally Mae or whoever, they gonna want their money.
Yep.
So I got to make it work. That's why I say like the best thing she could have done was not buy it, because me having to get it on my own like made me appreciate it more. It made me go hard. And when I first started, it was things that I wanted. I was like, man, like in any business that I've ever done, I go all in. So
Right.
like everything's gonna look professional, everything's gonna sound professional. Like I'm gonna make sure my website is good, social media, everything is like top tier. Because half that stuff is free. You
Yeah.
just got to do it right.
Right.
So when I started, I'm like, man, I want a website. Like, but I couldn't afford. I'm in college. Like I already
Right.
told you, I got this stuff with a refund check.
Yep.
So I couldn't afford this. So now in my spare time, I'm learning how to do websites because I want a website. So I'll figure it out. And I've just always been that person. I'm gonna figure anything out. And then I wanted graphics, but I'm real picky. I don't like bad graphics.
Right.
So if you go to my page, you'll notice like it's not too. I mean, everybody got preference, and it's in the eye of the beholder. But for the most part, I don't do bad graphics. So I was like, man, I want graphics. I can't afford to pay somebody $30-$40 for everything I need done. All right, well, now I want to learn Photoshop. And so I got with a guy who he would basically, a guy named Kevin Moody at the time, he was doing flyers for everybody. And he would basically like here's the flyer, try to recreate it. And then whatever I had questions, then he would help me. So I would recreate his stuff, and that's how I learned graphics. So I can do my own graphics. I don't do them for other people. I don't do websites for other people now. But it was like everything that I needed that I felt like would make me be able to compete with everybody who was already doing it. I taught myself how to do it, or I don't mind asking questions. So
Right.
and I think I reached out to you before I even, you probably didn't even know who I was. I can't remember what you posted. And I was like, hey man, where'd you get that from? Like, what is this? Like, that's me. I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I want to say it might've been like the control tower or something. I was like, wait, what is this? I want it. But yeah, I've never been afraid to learn anything, and I've never been afraid to work hard. So I didn't want to, I didn't do a lot of events that I probably could have done coming up, just because I also didn't want to get any type of labels.
Right.
So like, I feel like it helped and hurt me. Because, the guys like y'all could, when I was coming up, I was in the club a lot because that's how I'm learning.
Right.
But I couldn't go to certain places and feel comfortable. Like,
Right.
so I, of course, after the club, they going to Leroy's or they're going to a strip club, and it's like, man, I can't really hang out with y'all because I don't want to put myself in no position where things get like complicated or uncomfortable.
Right.
So I also felt like that hurt me though, because this is where guys bond. Like, I mean, it's like golf course for guys.
True.
Like y'all bonded in the strip club, and so the promoters are hanging out with the DJs in the strip club. So that's when it's literally like the golf course for DJs. So like this is when they're like, oh man, well, you got this date available. So I felt like I didn't get some opportunities just for the simple fact that like I couldn't build the relationships with some promoters, to the extent that other DJs did.
Right.
So I just kind of always felt like, man, I got to go like twice as hard because I got to make you want to book me now. And thankfully, of course, I had USC, I had Deltas. Promoters want people.
That's right.
So they didn't want to book me. So I throw my own parties.
There you go.
So I was throwing my own parties, and I can't remember the first one, but I think I threw like a Delta's Founders Day party on a Thursday or Wednesday night. And the owner could not believe it was like packed out. Like at that point, now it's like, what date you want? You can have it. Whatever you want, you can have it. So, and then it's crazy because DJ Fat Boy, he was one of the first DJs to rock with me, and he would want to throw parties with me because he's like, man, you doing your thing. Like, all right, let's do it. So we started doing like this Battle of the Sexes party. But yeah, I was like, man, they don't want to book me. I'll just do it myself. And then they started then considering me. It's like, oh, okay, she might be around for a little. We'll at least give her a shot.
True.
But it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, because like the guys are not back then.
Right.
Like, I started in 2010. 2010. They weren't like messing with females like that. Like, you had to be really good, or you had to like really stand out, because and not that we didn't have any good females, because there were some really good female DJs. Like Kelly Kells is still a really good DJ, and a lot of people probably don't know her. And she's been in Colombia for years.
Years, yeah.
But she didn't move, in those circles. So she probably did like great on the private events and stuff, but like they would never consider booking her. And I felt like I was like, man, I don't want to end up in that same like box. So yeah, I was like, I'll just throw my own. Y'all don't want to book me, and I still to this day. Well, I mean, I could. I wish I could throw my own. I don't even have the time, but yeah, I tell people like you can't wait on nobody to put you.
You can't
put yourself on. Everything that I needed to do, I made happen myself. And of course, I did get help.
And I can tell you that your story, the mindset that you had was exactly a lot of the same mindset that I had, and it's crazy because I learned it in a whole different fashion. I learned it only one type of way, and I thought that was the only way that you're supposed to know that. And then I'm just like, there's got to be more to this, because I almost gave up on it a few times, and I had to find inspiration to be able to do it. The first inspiration was me trying it on my own and having my own equipment and getting that, and how much that meant to me putting together my own setup and then building and growing from that to what I have now it's insane. And then the second time I was like, I just have to find something innovative. I have to find something that's different, that separates me from the next person. And, that's like my whole theme and stuff now. It's like I put everything into a perspective to where now you're seeking out me instead of me seeking out you. Like, before I had to find you and say, hey, please, like, open this door. And then it was like, I did enough stuff now to where people are like, hey, I know you are great. How much does it cost to have you? I need you. And I mean, your story sounds so familiar with that. And then the fact that you are a female DJ here in Columbia, South Carolina, I probably can count on one hand how many female DJs that I know. I mean, like, really DJs. And it's such a rarity to see that. And so once I saw and heard of you, I was like, well, that's different. And, I wonder how good she is. And then I heard some of your stuff, and like you can tell that you studied it before you went out and played it. Like, you're not out there reckless. You're out there actually making stuff sound good. Like, you could put together a mixtape right now if you wanted to. You could put together a whole stream right now if you wanted to. And then for you to land what I consider one of the biggest jobs in the state, with the state champions, as you can see on this image that's right over here, for you to land that, that's just next level right there, because those girls are next level. And then they brought a female DJ on to kind of keep that women power thing going. And it's just like huge. Like, talk to us about how you landed that, how that came about.
Man, that's God's timing. I'll be 100% honest with you. So I've never told this story publicly.
Okay.
So my very first time on radio, I DJ'd on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. I was a guest DJ, and it came from Twitter. DJ Bill Black had just left to, I want to say maybe program. I guess he was too busy to do it. So he had just left, and they were like, man, Ricky's a Q. And so one day J1 was doing the mix. And so J1 is a Kappa. So Ricky was like, nah, we can't have a Kappa doing the mix. Like, nah, we need where the brothers at? He was like, matter of fact, we need all D9. So now he's like, where the Delta DJ? So everybody's on Twitter like, T.O., they're tagging me. And so his producer, Beyonce ATL, she reached out and was like, hey, like, you want to do a mix tomorrow? I was like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Mind you, I'm working a full-time job at this time, fresh out of school or whatever. And well, I was out of school for a little while, but I was working. My degree is in accounting, so I legit could be a whole accountant if I wanted to right now. I was until I left full-time in 2015. But So I'm working, and they're like, yeah, if you want to do the mix, like send it to me. T.I.'s gonna be here, so let's do a T.I. mix, all
Oh
T.I.
wow.
And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
okay, crap. And it for a 12-minute mix, JayBook, like, and you've probably been in this situation before at some point. It took me probably 2 hours to do this 12-minute
Yeah.
mix, like, because it just wasn't right. It just, no, this is not good enough. Like, it just
Right.
wasn't right. And
Right.
I need to make sure I got like the hits, like,
Right.
and I probably did. I didn't have I had a lot of clean music, but I didn't have some of the clean with intro versions and all of
Right.
this like I would have wanted for certain songs. And then I wanted to be different. Like everything that I've ever done from day one was I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Like I said,
Facts.
when I started and I wanted a website, it was because nobody else had a website. The only DJ I knew had a website at that time was Frosty.
Yep.
No matter even the biggest DJs, B Lord did not have a website. That's
Nope.
crazy to me.
Nope.
And even I had an app. I was me and Frosty were the first two DJs in the state with an app. Like I had my own smartphone app. I literally just got rid of it like 2 years ago, last year, year and a
Wow.
half.
Wow.
And that's only because like the streaming had gotten so big. I was like, people don't want another app. So I was like,
Right.
and then I wanted to do something different.
Right.
But yeah, so I did the T.I. mix, and they was like, oh, T.O. doing the T.I. Like it was, so my phone's blowing up. Like everybody like, what T.O.? And so this is when Instagram DMs were just starting. Like
Okay.
nobody knew about the other inbox, like the one that you're not following somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like the request
Right.
inbox, right? So
Right.
nobody knew about this. So the young lady who reached out to me from the women's basketball team, she DM'd me that morning and was like, hey, coach is thinking about adding a DJ to the games. This was October 23rd, 2015.
She got the date.
I did not see I can tell you the exact date because I always felt like, oh my gosh, did I miss an opportunity?
Right.
Now, of course, they weren't the team they are today. Like
Right. Right.
I mean, coach and the staff have been there, but they didn't develop to what they are, of course, then. So this was 2015. And so I didn't see the DM for like a month. And I discovered this inbox now, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Mind you, my phone number was in my bio, my email was in my
Right.
bio, my
All the other
website.
things
Like
they
you
could
could
have
have
used.
reached out
Yep.
to me any other way. Like, but you DM me on like one of the biggest days on social media for me. So I missed it. It is what it is. Like when I finally reached out, she was like, oh, I think they already chose a DJ. So I was like, oh man, okay, it is what it is.
Right.
So they had another DJ, and then just kind of went on. But I always say what's for me is for me. Like
Right.
to be honest. So that next year, February 2016, I ended up February 22nd, 2016. I started on 100.1 The Beat. They brought back 100.1 The Beat,
Okay.
and it was me and one other DJ. We were the first two DJs. And so I started radio. I'm doing the 12 o'clock. I think I was doing the 12 o'clock mix then, or maybe we started weekends and then I was doing 12 o'clock. And then I started Charlotte a year later, almost to the date, on CIAA weekend. So I always say, like, I don't think I could have done it to the extent that I'm doing it now, like
Right.
fully devoted my time and energy to it, because I would have been trying to do too much, to be
Everything.
honest.
Yeah.
And I literally, like I did the 5 o'clock mix in Charlotte up until the pandemic. So probably almost 5 years. And I was going to Charlotte like 3 days a week at least, hitting the road. So I wouldn't have, it just would have, like something would have lagged, right?
Right. Right.
And so I was like, it is what it is. I pretty much had forgot about that. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I always have this story because I know the dates by heart. But it's just like I moved on from it. Like, it is what it is. What do you do? So it's crazy because it's just God's timing. So I told you I have the photo booths. I started photo booths in the end of 2018, really 2019.
Okay.
And so we, been doing our thing, whatever. And a friend of mine, she does weddings, but she also used to work for Absolute Total Care, who's one of the sponsors of Dawn's grandparents' breakfast.
Gotcha.
So she was like, hey, they want a photo booth. And I'm like, all right, it's just another event for me. Like, all right, we'll do a photo booth. But they wanted it so that all the grandparents could take a picture with her and leave with a picture. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got something to set up for that.
Cool.
And so it flowed so well. I had already kind of known like Judy Gatson. I met Judy, Nada Rutherford, all of these people. And I meet Dawn and her right hand. And, I'm like talking to them while we have downtime. I'm like, yeah, like this is what I do. But mainly I DJ.
Right.
And you know how it is with
Yep.
somebody, when you tell somebody you DJ and they like,
They're like,
okay.
oh, yeah, that's great.
Like, but when they see you DJing, it's like, oh, he really DJ. Like,
Right.
but when you tell them, it's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I told them, and they was like, oh, okay, that's cool, but like, all right, whatever. And so that was that November. It's always November. So January, this girl I know, she had booked me for an event called a Cola Rose Shower. I think that was my second year doing it. So Dawn's right hand, Angie, she came to the event. So Angie came to the event. She was like, "Oh, Tia, what you doing here?" I'm like, "I told you I DJ." Like,
yep. This is what I do.
Like, oh, you for real? Like, I was like, yes.
Oh, you for real?
So that, like, for real, right? So I think this was January 28th. The Super Bowl was the next week.
Right.
So this was last year. No, the year before last, whenever the Eagles played. So Dawn's a huge Eagles fan. She's from Philly. Of course, she's an Eagles fan. Eagles are in the Super Bowl. She doesn't throw a Super Bowl party every year. It's just so happened Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Angie calls me that week and was like, "Hey, can you DJ Dawn's Super Bowl party?" Bet. I just met her, all of them in November.
Wow.
She just saw me at this event in January, a week before the party, or maybe it was 2 weeks. And she's like, because it was the same day they played LSU. She's like, yeah, can you do Dawn's Super Bowl party? I was like, I can kill Dawn's Super Bowl. Yes,
Absolutely.
I can.
Absolutely.
And they never asked it for anything for free. So it wasn't like I got paid well I did the photo booth, DJ'd. Well, I didn't do the photo booth, but I had the photo booth. I DJ'd, I did uplighting, and I did a monogram like with the big Eagles logo in the middle of the floor. Like, they were like, wow. So even though they didn't win,
I feel like I saw that. Did you do that at 1208 Washington?
Yep.
I saw that.
Yep.
Doggone it.
So this is like a private event. Like, this is my first time. Like, granted, I told these people I DJ. Angie seen it, but nobody else is. And so now it's Dawn's party. So you got former players.
Yep.
You got like I remember Todd Rutherford and his family was there. Bakari Sellers. Like, you got all these people. But also the team staff was there. So the marketing director, Mo, she was there. And I think when I saw Angie at the event in January, I'm like, yo, like if y'all ever, I would never go into a situation trying to take anybody's job.
Right,
so when I met her that night and she was like, oh yeah, let me get your info. I was like, yeah, if y'all ever have any events outside of the stadium and you need somebody, like, let me know. I never came in and was like, yeah, y'all want to get rid of y'all DJ? Like, let me know. Like, I'm just like, I even said, I was like, if y'all need a host, let me know. I didn't even know they had a host. So I was like, I'll host too, because give me a mic. I don't mind.
Right.
And so that was in February. And so she reached back out in June. I want to say June or July. I was like, hey, are you interested in DJing for the team? And I was like, is that a question?
Right.
What do you mean? And she was like, well, don't say anything. I have to present it and da-da-da. And next month she was like, let's do it. And I was like, say less. Like, and that's how it all happened. But it was that's why I say God's timing, because it was like all these pieces went into play that like I couldn't have. My homegirl, she don't even work for Absolute Total Care no more. Like, that was her last year. Like, she literally plugged me with this photo booth event. And then Angie, the girl had invited Angie and Dawn, but that's not really Dawn's cup of tea. So she, like, Angie always gonna go on her behalf, or she gonna make sure she move around. And so for her to come to that event, see me, then invite me to do this, and then it literally was like nobody but God. Like, and it made sense to be honest. I went to USC. I'm a female.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to DJ a little bit. Like, it just made all the sense in the world. Like, so yeah, it's God's timing and God's plan. That's about the best way I can even describe it. Because half the time I'd be like, man, I don't even know how that happened.
I'm telling you, now we just got to get you over to the football side of it, and man, you'll conquer both the two biggest sports in the state.
Man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. If they did call me and was like, "You want to DJ the football games?" I'm like, "Nah." You know what? JayBook might, because you know. So one thing I will say in my career, I've learned that, like, if I'm not comfortable doing something, that I shouldn't do it,
Uh-huh.
or if I don't think I can do it, or not that I can't do it well, but if I think somebody else might do a better job, or I don't think I can do this at 100%, then I probably won't. Like, no shade to, like, for example, just for example, like,
Right,
I
right,
prefer not to do full on church events.
right.
I go
I,
to church,
I totally understand that.
but like, gospel music is so wide,
Right,
and I don't know what's hot in the
right,
gospel world. And then, like, you may like the tradition, the older Christian slower music. You may like the rap version, and those people don't like the same thing. It's just too
right.
much. Like,
It
and
is.
so I don't know what to play, and I just feel like I'm playing. Like, I'm not. I literally just feel like I'm playing music, not DJing. Like, y'all, I could give y'all a Spotify playlist at this point.
Right,
So I prefer not to do those events, and I'll send them to somebody that I think is better qualified to do it. Like, they can give you a better outcome. So, like, with football, I don't know enough about football to DJ football. Like, and I did a high school game. One of the schools I worked with a lot, Fairfield Central. They invited me to do one of the high school football games because the band was going on a competition. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take an event
right.
if I can. And I was like, all right. And thank God my husband came with me, because I'm like, when am I supposed to play? Like, I don't. He literally
When's a
was like,
great
okay,
spot to
play
play
now.
some music?
Right, because I'm like, okay, is it timeout? No, it's just they just, it's like a pause, like a down. Like,
Right,
I don't know. And then they had me like on one of the goal lines. Like, I can't see that far. I mean, you
right,
know what? This too much for my life. So at this point, it feels like work. Because when am I supposed to play? Like, I
right,
don't know when to. Yeah, y'all be mad at me. Not no.
right.
So I say, like, yeah, I don't think I could do that in front of 80,000 people at Williams Brice. Because
Yeah, because I mean they
when
go.
y'all want, is somebody gonna be right here telling me go? Because y'all gonna be mad at me. But
Yeah.
I do DJ at the stadium. But what I did, so in that the basketball games actually led to this. So I do DJ at Williams Brice, but they have a whole patio that they've built that they are trying to create a lounge vibe.
Okay.
So it's like lounge stuff out there. It's a bar. It's food. So I DJ there, and I love that. I mean, it's just straight music, and it's a little party during the game and after the game. It's supposed to be like a fifth quarter turn up.
Right.
Um, but that kind of depends on if we win or lose, because if
Right.
we lose, people trying to go home. So,
Right.
and then to be honest, if we win, people have been tailgating since the morning. They try
All
to go
day,
home.
like first thing in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so it's it just hit or miss. But well, during the game it's a vibe. So I do that, and somebody was like, "Man, mate, would you consider the game?" And I was like, I don't know. But what I did though is they came to me with the opportunity, and I did accept it on behalf of me.
Okay.
I was like, no, I don't want to do it, but I was like, I would like my company, Dimensions Entertainment, like, you can hire us to do it, and I'll make sure you have a DJ every game. You don't have to do anything. All you know is you pay Dimensions, and I'll make sure you have a DJ every game, because I didn't want to commit, for one, to all these Saturdays in the fall, because
Right.
that's weddings.
Oh, you know.
Um, Right. So I was like, I can't lock myself. And I've already scheduled weddings. Like, I can't just cancel on people. And
Right.
so I was also like, man, I want to give other people an opportunity. So I pretty much just kind of spread the love out. And I mean, it's not hurting me to share. And I'm the type, if you let me in the door, somebody with me. Like,
Right.
you let me in. If they're qualified, now I
Right.
can't bring you in and you
And you
get
not be
both of us kicked out.
right.
'Cause you can't get all us kicked out. But if like, because sometimes we just need an alley oop. And to be honest, that's why I started my company.
Right.
Um, I saw that there were companies in Colombia, like, that mainly white companies,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't see any black companies that would work together. Like, black DJs in Colombia, to me, it was just like everybody do their own thing.
Yep.
It's not that anybody hating on anybody. It's just
Right.
everybody do their own thing.
Right.
If I can't do it, it's just a no, and you kind of keep it moving. You figure it out. So I was like, man, what if I did what the white DJ companies are doing, but and this is no shade to anybody. I hope nobody take offense to this, but the thought process was like sometimes the white DJs, they look good. Their setup is amazing.
Right.
But they can't DJ like some of the black DJs can, right? Like technique wise, skill wise, like they can play music great. Like, yes, you can play music, but what I noticed was like some of the companies I saw people showing up, it was just they would hire regular people. It would be like DJ Susan.
Right.
And they would show up with like a laptop with a playlist and like a mixer board and they're doing a wedding. And I was like, that is wild to me. Like, this is the biggest companies in Colombia. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I actually have a friend in Charlotte who is not a DJ. He couldn't DJ to save his life.
Right.
Like, he's a great person. He can dance. He's a very entertaining person, but he is not a DJ. And one of these companies hired him. He would go to their office or house and he would get the equipment and they would give him a list and he would play it. And then he would host. Now, he was very engaging and stuff, so he was a good host, but like he's not a DJ. And this is you sending him to somebody's wedding?
Yeah. Somebody's
that was
very
crazy
important
to me.
day.
So
That's
I was
nuts.
like, right. So I was like, man, these guys, like, they have a great setup, but they're not, a lot of times they're not real DJs, not in the sense that we know DJs. Like, so I was like, well, what if you had a company that look good, but they can like actually DJ, like they're really good, like rock a party.
Right.
And so I was like, that'll be what sets us apart. Like, the focus is not just the look. The focus is when you hire us, the people are going to leave talking about it for days, weeks, months, years, whatever.
Facts.
So that was my thought process and I was also like, man, instead of us working not really against each other, but everybody doing their own thing, like, why don't we come together? We can do more together. That's what they're doing. So I was like, man, so I reached out to like three close friends. They really were DJs when I came in. They were also DJing with Frosty, and he had Stupid Dope Moves at the time, him and Charlamagne. And so I was just like, hey man, like, y'all want to kind of do stuff together? Like, y'all still have your own brand. Everybody do their own things outside of, but I just add to that. I give you more events. So, and they were like, cool. So yeah, it's kind of crazy because I started under Frosty, and Frosty is one of my DJs. So
that's nuts.
And then I have, that's wild. But he's like, man, I'm a hustler. Like, so, and all I'm doing is it got to the point where like, okay, instead of me turning people down, what if I just put my friends on? They're really good too. You may not know them, to reach out. And so, like, literally one of my DJs last year, I counted at the end of the year, I gave one DJ 32 events. That is more than some DJs book in an entire year by themselves. Yeah. So I was like, I get these opportunities, and I was like, well, let me just share in the love. That's pretty much what I do now. So yeah. So I do DJ at Williams Brice, but not just me. It's like me and friends.
Yeah. I love the mentality that you have of bringing companies together. I was talking to my guy, Mike, and, I was telling, a lot of the same lingo you use, I use that as well. Like, he has his own company. I have my own company, but it's not like he's under me. It's like we're working together. Like he's with me. He's an extension of me. So, you may not get me directly, and I know that's who you thought you were getting, but trust me, I'm not going to send somebody out there that is going to ruin your event. And the fact that you want to bring, black-owned businesses and stuff together, I totally understand what you're saying there as well, because you're right. Everybody can play music, but everybody can't be a DJ. And, I know a lot of the push-button DJs are like, yeah, it's still DJing though. Like, I get it. As part of my sets, I do press a couple of buttons here and there. But I also know a lot more about DJing. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. Like, I've put in time. I've studied. I've practiced. I've done all. And for people to come in and think that is DJing because it's more than what the client can do, it's almost like offensive. It's almost like offensive. But I mean, they're getting top-notch dollar, and then the Real DJs, they're not getting anything. They're getting peanuts.
That's the wild part. Like
That's
they're
crazy.
getting like they be getting like $1,200 for a wedding,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man. And not only, I mean, it's also clientele because if you go to certain people and you say no, it's $1,200 for this, they gonna be like, why?
Right.
Because they don't value what you do, and so
they
value the DJ, but it's like, man, if they're paying you that, give them that much worth. Like
right.
it's baffling. So I'm not even gonna lie, this is funny. So I think I first learned about you because Lil Vegas had mentioned you in something. And so I love Lil Vegas. Like Lil Vegas is like the definition of dope. That boy been DJing since he's probably was in diapers.
Yeah.
So
literally,
like, I don't know too many people better than Vegas. And so so I saw it. I'm like, oh man, who's this guy? Oh, he's in Colombia. And I was like, dang, I haven't run across him yet. And it's so funny because it was probably like 3 years in with my company, and I'm like, man, like he does so let me go back.
Okay.
One of my biggest things from learning from Frosty and just starting on my own is I knew that I had to be diverse.
Okay.
Like you can in 1 week I can do a sweet 16, I can do a 50th birthday, a wedding, a white wedding, a black wedding. I can do my son's school, and these people might be like 5 to 10.
Yep.
You could pretty much, I could do 18,000 people in Colonial Life Arena. Like you can put me anywhere. I could do a hood club or homecoming. So like you literally can put me anywhere, and like and not just do it, like do it well, like, to the point of calling back, right? So that was that. From every one of my DJs, you have to be that same way. Because if we get a corporate part, like we have PWC, I got a corporate holiday party, and these are like just one client, but I have a lot of these type of events. I can't send you if all you can do is strip club or like you can only do black events. Because I mean, when I'm at Williams Brice, 80% of what I play is top 40s.
Right.
So you got to be able to do that and be comfortable in it. And so I remember when I ran, I'm like, oh man, this guy's in Colombia. Like he got dope setup. Oh man, he's dope. And I was like, dang, I wonder if he'll come join Dimensions. I was like, oh man, I would love to bring him on. He looks like he can do everything. And then I saw, of course, you had your own company. I'm like, man, he's probably not gonna, he don't do nothing else, But I should have reached out. But I was like, and if I ever had met you in person, I was gonna be like, hey, like, what's up?
What's up, man? Right. Let's link up.
Yeah, because like I said, even with my guys, like I don't take any of their money. I don't, like, their business is their business. I don't handle their personal booking. That is between them and their client. All I do is add to it. Like I reach out, I get events. I can't do, of course, and I don't want to do. I have a 4-year-old. I can't be in the streets every week, all week. So now it's like, man, I'd rather. It's fun booking the events. Sometimes I'll be like, dang, I don't feel like DJing, but so I don't mind booking it and passing it off. But if somebody specify like, no, we want you, then of course I'll do it if I can. But no, I don't mind sharing the love because I don't want to leave the person hanging and now they got to find their own DJ.
Right.
And then I also was like, well, it helps because I can give my friends or associates extra business. So it's literally a win-win for me.
Win-win.
It doesn't take anything away from me. But yeah, I remember when I first ran it, I'm like, man, like he would be it. And I was like, he already got his own thing going on. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
It's a true story.
You're so right about having to learn so many different avenues. I worry about that when I come across a DJ that wants to work with me. I'm like, I would love to be able to add you. You seem like a great person, but I got to hear you play and I've got to see you at events. I've got to, you've got to have the presence already so that I know that if I send you over here, you're good. And if I send you over here the very next day, you're also good. And then, later, if I'm in a pinch, if I can't do it and I need you to sub in, it's almost like they never saw me, but they felt me. The same way, like I need you to be that chameleon. Like you got to be able to flow because my clientele, all the way up here to all the way down here, and we got to meet somewhere. You got to be able to really be a chameleon in this game. I mean, you mentioned about Williams Brice. I do tailgating for some boosters, and they always have me over at that little side building. And when I do tailgating over there, I'm almost like, what is this for? Nobody dances. Everybody's just happy to be going to the game. I'm just playing music, and some people are kind of looking at me, and I'm just like, okay, but I'm not playing something that would make people angry. I'm not playing something that will offend people or anything like that. I'm playing for that caliber of client. And then I turn right around and I can get ratchet with some college kids and stuff like that. That's where I really got, a lot of my great, like digging in the bag, digging in the crates and stuff style of DJing for college kids. And, I just kind of took that and molded that with what I do for weddings and just kind of introduced all that together. And now you could put me anywhere. But there's one place that I've never been. There's one place here I've never been. I've never been in front of 18,000 people.
That's a different beast.
I feel like that is like the last piece of the puzzle, at least to this state. That's the last piece of the puzzle, to be able to DJ in front of that amount of people. That is crazy. To have them vibing to your music, that's nuts.
It's wild. Man, let me tell you. So, like, sometimes, when you're doing events, or this is just in life. Like, sometimes, when you have, or you get to a point where you forget that this is something like you prayed for, like years ago. But like you in the moment, and it's just like you going through the motions, and so like when I'm doing it, I'm getting the job done. I'm having fun. I'm getting the job done. But I didn't realize like that people cared, I guess, in a sense, until the UConn game. So Plies came to the UConn game, and I can't remember who else. So it was like a vibe. It was sold out. It was a vibe. And a guy from ESPN had tweeted and was like, man, the vibe in Colonial Life Arena is like a party with a basketball game on the side. And I was like,
that's you.
Oh my God.
That's you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, sometimes we don't get the feedback.
Right.
Like, even if people have a great party, they don't come up and be like, oh my God, like, hey, you made my night. This is the best party I've been. We don't get that. We may hear it later on, but like to see, and then all these people retweeting, and they was like, yeah, I need a playlist. I was like, dang, I did it. Like,
yeah.
And I approach, so here's the crazy part. And I tell some people that I'm like, if you can do a wedding, like good, you can do any event. So a lot of events you approach are like a wedding. Like for me personally, at almost any event that I do, I approach it where I'm going to play the hits.
Right.
It's not really what I like. I'm going to play the hits. I'm not playing the B-side. So if I'm going to play, Usher, I'm not going to play like I don't mind. I'm going to play, Like,
right.
At least 50% or more of these people, I know they're going to know, They probably don't know that Usher. Like, so I think about that with every song. Like, if I'm going to play Justin Timberlake, let me play Can't Stop This Feeling. Like, I'm going to play the biggest of their songs. And so I go into that. And it's just like knowing the hits and playing what you think the majority of people. But some people get in their own head, and it's like you want to force people to like this, or you want to introduce this. And I'm not gonna lie, like in the early stages, I cared about the independent artists. And I know that sounds bad because it's not that I don't care about them now. I know where you're going with it. But like I used to like try to make sure I incorporate it, even with radio. Like I'm going to bat, I'm arguing with program directors, like, man, we should play this. It's the hottest thing in the street. And I didn't understand at the time, like, man, they didn't care. They was like, the streets ain't making some money. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, we're in Columbia, like we gotta be playing this.
Right.
Everybody know it. Everybody didn't know it.
Right.
But if you played that Beyonce, yes, they heard it 40 times within the last 2 days, but they still gonna listen when they hear it today. And that's kind of like, so radio helped me just almost like get polished for
Right.
other events. Cause I'm like,
Right.
finally when I got it and I'm cause I was mix show coordinator in Charlotte. And
Okay.
it's like now I gotta think different. You know what we play, you can't break records for a whole hour because people gonna tune out. Like now, you know, you giving me numbers and I'm thinking I'm killing it, and you like, hey, your numbers done fell, and I'm like, God, damn, boy, if that don't
What
humble
do you
you,
mean?
like,
I'm up
my
here
numbers
killing it. What are
fell.
you
That
talking
means
about?
people tuning out. Like, ah, that what am I playing? You know. So now
It's
I'm going back
nuts.
to okay. Let me go to the classics. Let me go to the hits. I got to keep people tuned in. So, you know, I like just thinking about it from that aspect is like I'm only playing what I feel like is the biggest records, and I take that same approach with 100 people, 15 people, 15,000. Like it's the same, and it's the same result. So yeah, they do have a men's team, so you know it ain't impossible. Don't
Yeah.
say it can't happen. You know,
Trust me.
you can't say
Look,
it can't happen.
I'm taking
I
my
hope you
first.
don't do the women's games because that's
No.
mine. But
I'm
but
taking my first steps in getting there because just like how you said, you know, Plies was at the UConn game. Like you never know who's in the audience. That's why I always tell the guys who come on the show or the people who watch me and follow me. I'm always like, you know, when you get booked for a gig, that's great. You got booked for that gig. You're DJing for that gig, but you're also DJing for the next client. It's like you're
like an
definitely
audition.
doing an application right then and there. Like they can see that. They can see you. I can't tell you how many times people have called me and been like, you know what? I've been to like 4 of your gigs and you didn't know it. And guess what? Now I've got something and I've been dying to use you. And that just comes up and like you're always auditioning, always. So like I've got this big Christmas party for Jim Hudson, and it's going to be at Colonial Life Arena, and it's going to be on the floor. And
On the floor, yep.
this is the
That's dope.
first time that I have ever played inside this venue. Like I think I may have played like a pre-show up in one of the booths or something like that, but that was terrible. Nobody was there. But to be on the floor and this is somebody's Christmas party for this caliber of person, like I have no idea who's going to be there. I have no idea, but guess what? These
It's
people
gonna
are
be
about to
big
get the
people.
time of their life because somebody in there knows somebody who is my next gig. So it's just like
Kill it.
I
And
am
Jim
going to go in
Hudson,
there
for
and kill
one,
it.
is Jim Hudson is a sponsor of a lot. So it's gonna be a lot of big people in there.
Right.
Like I know they're one of their main sponsors for Lexington Medical, like most of their events.
See?
Like, it's gonna be some people in there. So you gotta do. Matter of fact, send me the date. I'm gonna come pull up on you. You know, I'm gonna hang out like just so I can see you kill it. But I remember seeing that event last year, and I was
Yeah.
just like, God damn! Like they got the whole floor. You know how much it cost to like
Right.
I mean, Jim
Right.
Hudson got it, but also, you know, like any event that's happening, you have the staff there. They have to be there, like
Right.
the facilities people, all of the, so they hear this,
Yep.
like parking people. It's like Aramark, for example. They handle all the food.
Mm-hmm.
So Aramark, 9 times out of 10, the director, they're gonna be there. Aramark actually books for events too, so it's kind of like yeah.
That's love.
But that's just the way you're supposed to approach any event. Ten
Right.
people, you should still try to kill it because that's
Kill
how
it.
I don't advertise. I don't have a large budget that I spend on getting events. I don't. Nobody's doing me any favors. I get events from doing events.
Right.
Like word of mouth and people seeing me out is the biggest form of promotion that I could even ask for. So anytime I do an event, 9 times out of 10, I'm giving at least a couple cards away, like two,
Right.
three, four, however many. I'm for sure at minimum like 1 or 2 cards at the
Yep.
very minimum. I don't care how big or small the event. And so whether they having something or not right away, they'll then call. It's people that's like, man, I got your card a couple years ago. Do you still DJ? It's like, yeah. So they may have held on to it,
Right.
or maybe it was a lady and she's like, my niece is getting married. You know, it may be for somebody else, but they'll run back and be like, man, I heard this DJ
Right.
and he was amazing. Like
Right.
you get married, like you should call him. So that's how we get booked. So I don't, it annoys me. It was a DJ that I had considered bringing on, and I asked them to do an event. It was a smaller event. It wasn't like, it wasn't like 1,000 people jumping up and down. So it was a smaller event, and he got there and he kind of treated it like it was a smaller event. Like, just, granted, people aren't dancing right away, but so he's like putting on mixes and going to the bar, and it was like, that's not how you get called back. Like, they didn't, I could have did that. I could have put a mix on and left. Like, and so he just treated it like he was waiting for the crowd to show up, and just like, of course, I couldn't bring them on,
Right.
and I never used them again. And thankfully, those people, like, they knew me, so they still called back. But it was like, man, if these people didn't know nothing about me, and I only had him because I had COVID. That was actually why I ended up getting COVID. So it wasn't somebody I would normally use. I was just in a bind.
Right.
But I'm like, man, if she didn't know me, like, I definitely would have been out of here. Like, I would have never got called back. And so it's just crazy to me. I treat every event like it's lit. If we in here with 15 people, and I have been. I do a holiday party, and I've been doing it now for 6 years, and literally it's probably 25 people total in there, and we have a great time. I'm talking like, we be percolating everything in there.
Everything.
Like, it's lit, and to the point where the owner, true story, the owner give me, like $200 tip, like. And not only that, this is how dope it is. This man, when he found out I was a DJ for the team last year, he was like, oh man, I love Dawn Staley. I want to meet her. And so I was like, all right, bet. Why don't you come to the MLK Day game? Because I figured they would be off and like come through. And so he ended up not coming, but he was like, man, he want to meet Dawn Staley. And so the lady who books me, she was like, yeah, he always talks about it. This year, he donated 25 grand to the Gamecock Club and got them a suite for like 3 games. So it's like, mind you, it's no more than 25 people at this party every year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like,
doesn't matter.
Like, I go in like it's the biggest party of the year, and they appreciate that. Nobody want to spend all this money on you, and you treating the event like it's nothing.
Right.
And so it's like, if you go in there with the mindset like, man, I gotta kill this. I don't care how many people in there. You're gonna get more events from that. Somebody's gonna come get a card every single time. Even the events where I'm like, man, I think I was a little off tonight. Like, like it just wasn't my night. People will come up and be like, you did a great job.
You did a great, right. That part. It's like I could hear myself mess up, but you guys were like, this is awesome. I totally agree with the small amount of people. I just recently did a wedding. I was just telling them, I think last week, I did a wedding on a Sunday night. You already know weddings on Sunday nights, totally hard. People got to work the next day. But she expected 63 people and only got like 25. And you know what? I treated them 25 like they were the only people in the world that mattered. And they had an absolute blast. So I totally agree with that. And that's what sets these companies and stuff apart. You don't just send somebody out there who's like, you know what? I'm getting paid either way. Whether or not you guys dance, I'm getting paid either. Like, that's the mentality that a lot of these other DJs take, because they've gotten entitled. They've gotten to the point where they only do big clubs or big arenas or big events, to where when you do a 10-person event, it's like, oh, well, you guys are beneath me anyway. You've already gotten too big for the event, so why even DJ anymore? If it's not for the fun of DJing and you getting paid to do what your passion is.
Exactly.
Like, that's what the people don't understand. You still getting paid to do what's fun to you. It doesn't make any sense for people to treat it like that.
Here's the crazy part. So not only would they probably not get booked again, this is the bad part. If say, I don't know, it's another big business in Colombia. Just say like Prisma. Prisma's having a party. They know Jim Hudson used you.
Okay.
Say you did treat it like Not only is Jim Hudson probably not going to use you again. Now, when Prisma asked Jim Hudson people like, how did he do? I was thinking about using him. What do you think their response is going to be? So now you just messed up
2 huge events.
Future, right? And that's going to be their response when anybody asks.
Right.
Because it's like references. People do ask. Like, somebody is going to be like, man, I was thinking about, booking JayBook for my wedding. Like, how did you think he did at your wedding?
Right.
They're going to ask. So
right.
It's kind of like, and that's why I'm so scared. I really do need to add one more DJ, because one of my main DJ, one of them, he's about to move, and I'm like, man, you like killing me. You dropped a bombshell. I felt like I was going through a breakup. But
Not a breakup.
yeah, like man, I got like this is my go-to. Like this
Yep.
is who I gave like 32 events last year.
Right,
And
right.
so he's gonna move. And I'm like, man, I gotta go ahead and get ahead of the game and like try to replace him. But I really have no idea who. And I've had people, I threw it out there just to see who would be interested. And I had people to reach out, but I haven't listened to everybody yet.
Yeah.
And it's hard to just listen. Like I can't just listen to a mix and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna kill an event. That
Right.
it's almost like Fabulous can put out an amazing mixtape, right? But
Right.
he can't
He can't
he don't
make
have
an
a lot of
album.
hits.
Right.
So yeah, so it's like I can't just go by a mix and be like, oh yeah, you'll kill it. That's not an indication. And so yeah, I've been putting off adding somebody new because like, dang, I genuinely don't know because a lot of people have been reaching out and they're like, I want to do it, and it's like, man, I don't even know if you can do these types of events or how would you show up? Like, I don't know if you ever seen. I don't post a lot of pictures, but even the setup, like. I don't have to. I used to have a facade. I was one of the first DJs in Colombia too. Well, at least on the black side. One of the first DJs with a facade too. And I had the facade with my name on the front, everything. And I got rid of that because I got to the point where I learned I don't have to have anything. So now I just have a tablecloth, but you will not find a wire.
Right.
Like I did one event. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. I had posted it to Facebook. I left my tablecloth at home, and I was like, crap. I got this table with I can't hide nothing. So literally I posted it. It went crazy on Facebook because there was not a wire in sight. I used zip ties and ran the wire and like I got slight OCD, so I don't do the mess. Like you're not gonna, you know how some DJs set up. It's like why does it look like this? Especially for the ones who have like the sliding tray.
Yep.
It's like, why can I still see your wires?
Right.
Like, why are they all? So it's, I even think about that. Like, man, if I book you, how are you going to show up? Like, how's your setup going to look? Because what I tell people when they reach out is, like, if I can't be there, I'm going to give you a comparable replacement. Like, so I can't sell you on that and then send somebody, that would be worth half the price.
Right.
Like, because now you're mad because you feel like you overpaid.
Now you're really mad.
Yeah, like I can't, and that's happened. That well, not necessarily. No, it never happened on any of my people, but it did happen. Where this lady, she reached out. I was unavailable. This is before I started my company. She reached out. I was unavailable. All I did was send a text to a bunch of DJs and say, who's available on this date? And whoever responded, I sent back to this lady. That was my involvement. I did nothing. I took no money. There was not
Your
a referral.
name was initially attached.
Apparently. So I saw this. Like, I have nothing to do with this event. Literally, like legally, I have nothing to, like, in all aspects, I have nothing to do with this event.
Right.
All I did was try to help you out because I'm not available. And instead of me sending you 10 people number and you have to call each one of them and they say, no, I'm not available. No, I'm not available. I went ahead and cut half the work for you. Who's available? These people are. I sent it to you. So she books a DJ. I saw this lady maybe like 5 months later at an event, and she was like, "T.O., I'm mad at you." And I was like, "Why? What did I do to you?"
Bum.
She was like, "The DJ you sent for my party was horrible." Whoa, man, whoa! I did not send anybody. I didn't. I did not send this man. You and your spouse spoke to him and felt comfortable, and y'all booked him. I did not. No. It's almost like me posting to Facebook, "Hey, who's available Saturday?" And these people say they're available, and so I said, "These people say they're available." That was, man. She was mad. She was like, "Yeah, I don't know. You owe me one." What?
How can I owe
so
you?
now with
I was looking out.
I had nothing to do with this, man. So I'm real particular now. Like y'all will not ruin my name or reputation. Because I do not need you to be like, TL sent this DJ and he was hard. No, don't tell nobody else that. So yeah, I'm just I know I need to add somebody else, but I'm real picky. And then it's a trust thing. Like I talk to these guys a lot, like we're friends now. Like we're very close friends. So, it just also have to be like a level of comfort. Like I feel comfortable talking to you. And being a female, it is a little different because
Yeah.
some of the guys, like, they don't want to feel like I'm working for you,
Right.
or
Right.
I'm
That part.
taking orders for you, or and
Yeah.
like for God, they don't want to, like,
Our egos get
even if
all the
I
way in the
am
way.
better, they don't want to feel like I'm better than them. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to feel like that. So it's kind of like some people, they may want to, but then that'll come into play. And it's like, we got to be comfortable with each other. Where it's like it's a team. I talk to one of my DJs probably every other day,
That's what's up.
even if we ain't even talking about events. He just be calling me, and at this point, we be talking like best friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we got like a good rapport, and that's with any of the guys. Like, we could just talk about other stuff too. So it also got to be like somebody that I feel comfortable with, and hopefully they feel comfortable with me. So I keep putting it off, but I'm gonna have to add somebody at some point.
Well,
Just the
a good way.
selection is just not all the way there.
A good way that we can actually do something is based on what you were already trying to do. We can have a host like a DJ meetup, and then all the DJs, who just want to come kick it for a little bit. We don't put no pressure on nobody. You don't have to get up there and DJ, but you can network with other DJs, and you don't know who's a starving DJ. And, if they wanted to get something on there, you could exchange information, and then you can try to go from there. I think that would be a great way to not only just build a community, but then we can start doing more and more and more. Because my goal is to do stuff like on some of the scales that some of these other guys are doing. Like, I would love to do a Sunday brunch. I think that that's a great idea. I think if you had the space, you can get the people and do a Sunday brunch and just get people talking and get like a buzz. Like, it would be, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out all avenues that would bring more people together instead of this huge division. It's always like, you can have white, black in the same building. You can have white DJs, black DJs, and say, I mean, they can learn from us, we can learn from them. I just want it to be more of a community field, and then get people who actually rock with us to come support us. Just things like that. Like, that's my vision for the area. That's my vision to put together. One of the things the guys in the chat have been talking about, I see a couple of them on there saying stuff like, we need to get this New Year's thing going. I had the idea that, for New Year's, if you're not DJing an event anywhere, New Year's is actually boring for everybody. I mean, nobody watches those New Year's Eve shows and do all that stuff. Why don't we do a DJ round robin type New Year's thing? You just tune in. We can get it going on Twitch, or probably can't put it on anything else other than Twitch because it'll shut us down, but put it on Twitch, and I can do 30 minutes. You can do 30 minutes, pass it. You can do 30 minutes, and just round, and we are the show. And then we right there now, we don't even have to leave the house. You can still party with the people who are in your house. They can be in your background on your image. And you still, like, I'm just trying to do stuff that brings more of us together instead of always looking at each other as competition. Like, right now, I'm not looking at you as my competition. I'm looking at you as my equal. You do a lot of similar stuff that I do. So I would definitely want to network with somebody like you. I'm not looking at you as a threat, but a lot of other DJs look at people like us and say, nah, they doing that on that scale. I don't want to be no part of that because, they doing way too much for me. Oh no, they don't bring enough money in for me. Oh no, they wouldn't give me enough events. And it's just like everybody in their own way. And that's why I'm just trying to, I have so many ideas in my head. Mike always gets on me all the time. He's like, man, you always thinking, I got a big head, man. I'm always thinking, and I'm constantly.
That's me. I'm always trying to put something together, and I always try to do different stuff. So I think that's a great idea, and I think you can do it. Like, it don't have to just be New Year's. It could literally be a random Wednesday.
True.
Pick a day. And the reason I say like a Wednesday or a Tuesday is there's not much going on. Like, because now you got to account for football and basketball and all of these different things. But say you was like, what, let's do it, maybe not next Wednesday because Thanksgiving, but let's do it in the middle of December. Like, why not? Just some of my best ideas, I will overthink something. I'm slightly a perfectionist, so before I put it out, it got to be almost perfect, and then that look like procrastination. But some of the best things that I've done is I just did it.
Yeah.
Like let's do it. So I remember when pandemic happened, I had just got pregnant with my son, and then the world shut down. I remember I did my last wedding in March 21st.
That's what I did
And I was
mine.
throwing up the whole way onto the onto the wedding. I was throwing up there.
Oh
So
my
at
God.
first it was like, oh God, thank God that the way the world shut down. Like I wasn't gonna make it. Um, but yeah, so it was like I started doing the virtual events and I got really good at it. So then people were booking me to do virtual events. And this is why like you gotta be able to adjust and adapt and do anything.
Yep.
And I did a rent party. It was random. I wasn't working. Like the radio station, everybody got furloughed like
Yep.
immediately. Like
Yep.
the pandemic started. And so I know my last wedding was March 21st. So I think it shut down right around that time. And I remember, I think April 7th, they sent out, like, they ain't even wait a month to
Nope.
see,
Nope.
like, when we go, they was like, oh, get them out of here. So I was like, dang, y'all ain't had no reserves or something?
Nope.
Like, y'all was living check to check out here. Let me find out. Like, it was crazy for a company. It wasn't even 2 weeks. They was like, yeah, we got to furlough y'all. Like,
Yep.
I only make like, this is the wild part. In radio, you only make like $10 an hour for a mix. So it wasn't
Yep.
even, why y'all cutting me? I'm the lowest on the totem pole. So yeah, I was like, all right. I mean, I ain't working there. I ain't working, can't work events. That's my money. Radio was no money, of course. But it's like, well, people out here hurting. So I was like, well, I thought about house party. And I was
Yep.
like, man, I should do a rent party
Yep.
and invite people. And so what I did was I put my Cash App on the screen. I cleared my Cash App out, put it on the screen. And so as people donated, I gave it away on live. So it was very transparent.
Right.
I want to say the first one, I think like people sent in like $1,400 and I gave it away in $150 increments or $200 increments. I can't remember.
That sounds great.
And so I literally would be like, I just picked random people on it and they had to be on the live to get it. And I would literally just Cash App it to them right then. And they seeing it. So now they getting into it. They like, ooh, send more money. Let's keep
Right.
it going.
Right.
So that was the first one. So then I did it again. And mind you, I'm doing this when I'm not making $1.
Right.
And that first
You
one, of
just
course, I
the
even put
middleman.
in $200 to start. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I probably could use some money too, but I'm giving it to other people. So the next one, I had a sponsor. Like this promoter guy was like, yeah, he was like, put my logo on the back of the TV. Okay, why not? Like there's no thought behind this other than I designed a flyer.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to go live at this time. That was the most thought I put into it. And then from there, the South Atlantic region of Delta reached out and they were like, we like what you're doing. We want to do the same thing. And so now they're going to pay me to do a rent party and just with all the Deltas and other friends on Facebook Live. So I did the exact same thing and we raised $22,000 and some change. And they didn't do it in the format that I did. That's the only thing I didn't like. They donated to like this organization to then give it out. I was like, I didn't care for it because I'm like, you don't know where the money's going.
Right.
But it wasn't my show. They booked me technically with my idea. But I say that to say the idea was so great and it literally, I just did it. Like I didn't, like everything else I put all this thought into and then it takes me forever to get it off the ground. I literally was just sitting down. I was like, I'm going to do a rent party and this looks like a good day to do it. And I'll do a flyer and I'm just put it out. So I say that to say, just do it. Like, even if it's not New Year's Eve, I bet the next Wednesday after New Year's Eve, we doing it. Like, and if you come, you come. You want to pull up, or you want to do it, you sign up and we just do it. It's almost like passing the baton. I'm going to throw it over to JayBook and then JayBook going to throw it over to Mike and then just do it. If people...
I like that. I like that. So you've heard it here first on the stream. I am definitely going to, if we're going to set up something to where we just do it and then New Year's just be just like another day. That way, it doesn't have the big strain on everybody. Right. No stress behind it. We can just get on and just, do our thing. I like that. So I'm going to put something together that does that. That makes total sense. That's great. That's
Maybe
great.
even one version of this instead of a interview on Thursday. This is what we gonna do.
Yeah.
Everybody's on. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
literally just do
Now
it.
the wheels is
The
turning
idea
again.
is there. I mean, you have the stream set up. You got the
Yeah.
platform. It looks great. Like you clearly know what you're doing. Ain't nothing else to it at this point, but put it out there.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Now, Tio, I know you got other stuff to do. We just gonna go over this real quick, and then we're gonna let you go here. This is called Would You Rather, and basically you
Okay.
just say you pick one or the other per your preference, and we just gotta see what each DJ that comes on, if they have a different preference or what they like. So I'll give you one here. Would you rather do a club, wedding, or corporate event?
Wedding.
Wedding. I think everybody on
It's
here
something
says
about
wedding.
that person's special day. I love my corporate events, but it's something about being a part of the biggest day or one of the biggest days in somebody's life.
Plus, it's really, really easy.
Like that's a
But
great
anyway,
honor. I don't know. You think so? So I
wedding's
always
by
tell
far
people
the
it's
easiest
easy
gig.
and hard at it. It's easy and so for me, it's the easiest and most stressful event I do.
Oh yeah, I could definitely say
That and
that.
kid events.
Oh,
Only other
see,
event that's more stressful than weddings is not kid events solely. It's kid events with parents and teachers
yes,
there.
yes,
Because it's
those.
very hard to please both.
It's kids for me. It's kids in general. Their attention span is like this. So when when I've got to do a Sweet 16, yeah, I can play all the hits. I don't have a problem with playing all the hits. But this thing right here takes everybody's attention, and they just sit there. This is on there. They won't dance. I remember I did a prom and stuff recently, and I think last year or 2 years ago, and literally I had rocked the prom the year before, came in, did something, very similar, and the kids was just kind of like, and I'm like, really?
TikTok has ruined the party.
Really? I was like, are
TikTok.
you kidding me? Like I would play some songs that they could sing
Every
along
single
to.
year, I say like I do almost every prom for one district here,
Yeah.
with the exception of I think one. Every year I say, and then I do one for Fairfield Central. I do every year I say I think this I'm gonna retire from the prom.
Yeah.
Like,
I've already said that.
and I
I've
keep
already
going
said
back.
that.
I was like I keep saying I'm not
Yep.
going back, but I keep for some reason I keep going back. But every
Keep
year I
going.
feel like that. I'm like, man,
Right.
I think I might have outgrown this, but yeah.
So let's see. Next one up is Apple or Windows.
Apple.
Apple. Okay. Turntables or controller. Now I've seen you use both, and your first was turntables, but turntables or controller.
Still got them. Turntables.
Turntables. Okay.
But I don't like to carry them. It's just, the heaviness and the convenience of
Right.
my bag versus 3 cases. I've gotten lazy, I guess. But it is still set up over here.
Yeah. Would you rather do furniture or facade?
Furniture.
Furniture.
Yeah, I like the look of the furniture now.
Yeah, furniture, man. It's so clean. I love it. I love when I get to do that tea stand. Like I'm thinking about bringing that to Jim Hudson's for that one because it's
You
so clean.
Definitely. You know why I didn't
clean.
get it?
Was it?
Because you said it was heavy.
Yeah,
Remember when I asked you about it, you was like, "Man, I ain't gonna lie, it's heavy." And I don't know if you can see, but I'm like 120 pounds. And I drive a truck, but I'm like, I don't drive a truck with a trailer. I can't back up a trailer. I drive.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dang, if
It's
I get
so
it, it's heavy and I gotta transport it. But the look, you should definitely.
The look is worth it. Is worth it. I'll get one of the workers there to just help me lift that thing up on that stage, and we're gonna go from there because I want that look. That's gonna be crazy. Yeah. I think you answered the next one just now. Van or trailer? It looks like you would probably go with a van truck.
Yeah, because I can't back it up. I had to rent a U-Haul one time, and I was going to Chester to the Gateway, and it was fine because the parking lot was super big. You could just pull in, pull out. And then when I got home, so first of all, my homeboy DJ D Dub, I can't. He was borrowing some uplights or something, so he
Mm-hmm.
happened to be near when I was getting the trailer.
Uh-huh.
And so he backed the trailer up into my driveway for me. So I got it loaded up. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, just do this. You gotta, if you want to go this way, you go to. Listen, I don't know if it's like rubbing you, but I couldn't do it.
Oh man.
So 12 o'clock at night, I get back from this wedding, and I'm like, Doug said do it like this. It can't be that hard. Like I couldn't get it. I had to unload the trailer on the street, so just because I left it on the street, yeah. So give me a van until I can drive a trailer. And then you go to certain venues that it's just not convenient to have.
That
You
part
don't have
right
parking.
there. You're
Where
absolutely
y'all
right.
putting these trailers?
Yeah, it's so tough to have a trailer. Like I take a trailer to pretty much about 95% of my events, and you get to some of these, and it's like, where y'all want me to park this at? Like, I mean, I could only do but so much with the trailer. It's crazy.
So when you do like 1208, where do you put it?
Well, there's so what's the name of that hotel? Is it the Sheraton? No, not the Sheraton. What's the Marriott?
Sheraton and the Holiday Inn.
So like if
That
1208
back alley.
if 1208 is right here and you do that back alley right behind the Marriott, there's like where the dumpster area and stuff is. Every event that I've ever done at the Marriott, all the entertainment always parks right there. So it's almost like they think that you're the entertainment for the Marriott, and they don't do anything.
So they don't bother you.
Yeah, they don't bother me because there's no place else I put it. Every time that I park in the front, they're like, "Could you move your truck and trailer?" I'm like, "Not really, because it would really make it easy if I could just have this park." They're like, "No, the limo has to come here." I'm like, "Okay, appreciate you."
Man,
They kill
listen,
me
they
with
treat
that.
the DJ so bad.
Yeah, they
He's
do.
like, we not the whole party.
They
we
never-
like on everything.
They never consider our parking. Never. It's like, could you validate the DJ's parking? That would be great. That would be awesome. So where's my next one here? Oh, here it is. It says concert or festival, but I think I meant to say stadium or block party.
Yeah, I don't know. I like a good block party.
I know. That's why I put those
That might be a vibe. Yeah, I think I like a good block party.
because that's something.
I lived in Philly for a while, so in my mind, I'm picturing block party,
Right.
like in Philly, and I'm like, I think I might like that.
That
You
would
could
be
be a little
cool.
more free.
Yes. Way more free.
A little more. Yeah. I like events where like I leave feeling like, man, I could play like whatever, and
Yeah.
people was into it,
Yeah. That's another reason why I do like my Drive at Fives, where I go on Twitch and then I take it and just put it on YouTube, is because I get so used to playing a certain style of music because the majority of my events is weddings, so I know I have to kind of keep it wedding mindset all the time. But I'm like, I need events and I need to stay fresh on music that I don't normally play all the time. So that's why I do those streams, and I'm just like, that allows me to just be free with music. And if I had an event like that, I would absolutely kill it. I would absolutely kill it
Somebody
because it's so
gonna
much
pay
music.
me to do this? Oh man.
Oh my gosh. So let's see. One thing in your setup that has to go.
Like with me, like
No. Like
every event,
you have to get rid of it.
oh
Yeah, it has to
cool.
go. Like I'm so done with this. This has to go. That's in my setup right now.
I don't know. I mean, I got rid of the facade. That was heavy, but I can't think of anything else that I can get rid of. I need it all.
No speakers. No
well,
speakers.
I mean, I guess the sub, but I mean, I need the sub. So then,
Yeah.
so like I said, I'm a smooth 120 pounds, and I'll tell you what my speakers are. I use K12 I have 3 K12 I don't know
So
why it's an
QSCs.
odd number. Yep, QSC K12 and then my subs I have the 181s, the KW 181s.
Yeah.
Clearly, those are bigger than me.
Yeah.
So,
But at least they're on wheels.
yeah.
And but picking them up and getting them back on wheels is something I highly encourage you for, especially a lot of the events that you do, for a small package with a big punch. I think the LD Maui 28s, 28 GUs, I think they call. I think that would be a great, that would take the place of that setup that you have right now.
I'm gonna look into that because a guy I know I'm friends with, he has a company in Florida. He recommended. I think he told me the Maui G44 or something.
Yeah, that's the
I
one
wrote it
that.
down.
Yeah,
But
that's the one that I use. But remember, you told me your size. Those things are huge. But the 28s would probably do everything that you need to do and allow you to be able to fit all of that into your vehicle because it's more compact than what that QSC setup would be.
man, listen, everybody's on the array setups right now, and
Yeah.
I respect it and I love it. And I have friends that have been trying to sell me on the Yamaha, not Yamaha, the EV.
Oh yeah, EVs.
I don't like the sound of it.
I
Because
don't
if I
either.
gotta add, like I know somebody who added a sub, if I'm gonna do all that, I feel like just my tops alone kills those EV50s. Like
Yes,
just my tops by themselves.
I agree.
Um, and then I didn't like I booked one of my DJs. I had him do a wedding for me at the Adult Activity Center on Park Lane, and where they had him set up, he was like facing the other wall,
Hmm.
and because I was doing a photo booth, and I felt like you could hear straight ahead. It
Right,
was great sound. So these people at these tables probably was too loud for them.
right,
But it didn't have any range
right.
over here. Like you could, so I was like, nah, at least with my tops, I can turn them. Like,
Yeah, they are directional.
but I love I love my QSC setup. Like there's not an event that I can't do.
Right.
The only thing, so 80% of the events, I don't take a sub. Like if it's a,
Really?
50 person. Yeah, I don't take sub every time. I just use, because they have the no sub function, so it still gives me bass.
Oh, wow.
But 85% of the time I take subs on, like if I'm doing galas or big proms, of course, bigger events. Or if I do feel like I need some I may take one, if it's like a small event, but I want some But the only time I pull two subs out of this house is if it's a prom, like a big gala, is like, 500 people or something. Like it has to be big enough. But I see DJs taking subs and tops everywhere. Like I saw somebody doing a walk run and I was like, dang, you did all that for a walk? Like that's kind of crazy to me. But the reason I don't is partially because I can't lift it. I literally cannot lift the 181. So
I get it.
don't tell nobody this. I mean, these people see it, but whatever. But so my husband puts the sub in the truck for me.
Okay.
I have, everything has bags.
Right.
So I can slide it down out of the truck. I can't get it back in. I have to get somebody to get the other side. So, for certain events, I'm just like, man, I'm not going through all that. And I just won't take. But yeah, 80% of my events, I'm two tops, stands. Like it's very simple. So I've gotten it down to, and it sounds great. People don't
Yeah.
even realize, like, I'm doing more probably than some people with the subs and all that. But it works for me.
Which is
But
crazy.
yeah, I really considered getting different subs, but to me, like the 181s are literally like top of the line. So it's like, man, I'd get rid of these to go down. But yeah, I can't lift them.
Yeah, I'm
not.
taking my whole QSC setup to that Christmas party, and I've got the KW 122s, the wood cabinet, 12-inch, and then I've got the original version of the K12s, not the the dot two, but just the K12s, which had the plastic outside, and then I've got the tower one, the 153s, yeah, and then I've got two 181 subs. So I feel like, to cover 500 people or more, I mean, she told me it probably will be more. I think that'll give me a wide range because I can put, speakers literally spread out across the whole stage. And I even thought about putting my 44 G2s as like satellite speakers out there. It's still a work in progress, but I still kept my QSCs. I love them. I won't sell them. People have asked me if I'll sell them. No, I know they just sit now, but they were a work horse before I got those 44 G2s. Like I had two subs, two tops, and we rode with it. We just went and it killed so many events. So Definitely got to keep a hold of
You'll
that.
be fine with that. And then also
Oh, yeah.
ask them if they're gonna have if Colonial Life sound guys like Will and Chris, they may be there. They may let you tap in too, so you can kind of get a little extra feel
Now that
from
would be love.
the arena side. That's not it ain't gonna hit, but it'll give you like you ain't gonna get the bass and stuff, but it'll give you some feel. But
Ooh,
yeah, they might let you tap in.
that would be love. That
But
would be
not
love.
I'll say that like I considered selling the QSC subs. I'll never get rid of them tops. But it's just like, man, I don't like to ask people for anything, and so when I need them, I need them. I don't want
Right.
to be dependent on anybody else.
Right.
And in my like, I keep them because I may need them, you know. So I wouldn't get rid of your QSC setup because like look at this, man. Even if you
We
use
can't.
them twice a year, you're like
Yeah.
oh, I need it. So
I may
if it's
only
not
use them a
hurting
few
you, yeah.
times, but at least they're there.
Yeah, but I will say, like, to any newer DJs, I always recommend get bags for everything. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I bag
That's a
everything's got a
must.
case or a bag. Literally everything, even my computer. You know, so
Yeah.
like, and the reason I do that is because I always tell the story. Real quick. So I had a JBL setup I bought from D-Dub. I think I
Mhm.
paid $1,800 for it years ago, and it had the bags. He gave me the poles, everything. I used that for like 3 years or maybe even 4 years before I bought my QSC setup. So I sold that and bought the QSC setup, and I sold it for $1,850. So I literally used these speakers for 3.5 years, give
Oh,
or
wow.
take, pretty much for free. Like I sold them for what I paid, and so that's why I always tell people like all my QSCs I've had since 2018, 2019, I think. And if you looked at them, you would think I just bought them. Like not a
You keep them.
scratch. Now I mean the grill might even with the bag, like you might get a little dent in the grill, but you know you can buy the grill or pop
Oh,
it
yeah.
back out. But like
Oh,
other
yeah.
than that, it is not a scratch on them speakers. So if
Yeah.
I had to today, I literally could actually sell them for more than I bought because I think I paid $750 or $850 per top then, and now they going for $999. So
Yeah.
I could literally sell them for $850 5, 6 years later. Like
Yeah.
you gotta take care of your stuff, and
You
then
got
I
to.
rebuy something else.
I try to take care of as much stuff as I can. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a black Sharpie and filled in some of those dents and those marks, and when the wood gets chipped, I'm like, oh no, let me go and get that real quick,
Oh yeah.
because it just takes like a stupid little bump, or you're just so tired at the end of the night. It's like, oh, I got to carry this, and you may have dropped it. I've been
Yeah.
through just about everything you could possibly
And
go
not
through.
only that, that goes into the look too. Somebody paid you all this money for
It's
their
true,
wedding.
for you to look a certain way too.
Everything looks beautiful. The
Yep.
flowers, the table, the cake, everything looks beautiful. And then they look over there at you and
And
like,
you
ooh,
look, you
like,
looking
yeah,
rough.
don't get that in the pictures. Like, don't get that in the video. Don't get
That's
that
why
in
I
the
can't
picture. You don't want
stand
nobody to say that.
when I see DJs and stuff on, like, post pictures on social media, like, and they'll do it with a table and everything is exposed on the top, and wires down. I'm like, how in the hell did you get this gig looking like that? There's
Yeah.
no way. It
You're not
looks
gonna make it on the pictures in the video though.
no,
like,
no.
like
I
you an
literally
eyesore. Like,
I literally dedicated a whole show to talking about fitting the decor of your event. I was like, we're going to talk about facades, options. We're going to talk about different things you can do to fit the decor, because I'm tired of coordinators scanning the whole room and posting it and skipping over the DJ setup. They doing that
but
because your
that's on the
setup
DJ.
looks like
It look
holy hell over
bad.
there.
And the crazy thing is, it's not just the wires. Like I know a DJ that his speakers look like he threw them out the car while he was
Right.
going down 77, and it's like, bro, why did you? And I got a DJ friend. He want to do work. He's the sweetest. He's actually pretty dope, but his mixer he got some cardboard or something holding the buttons on the mixer, and I was like, well, at some point, you're gonna have to get a new mixer. Like you making money. I really can't even send you to an event because there's like you folded a box or something like
Right.
it's things holding this thing together that
Right.
ain't a part of the mixer. It's
Right. That
like,
at any
and your
second he can
speakers look like you
self-destruct.
done ran them over. Yeah, it's like, man, don't touch this wrong. Like Like, do not touch this the wrong
Don't
way.
touch this
And
wall.
so like, it's wild. Like the speakers, I promise you, the speakers look like they've been through hell and back. And it's like, man, I promise you, you won't make the video. You won't
Right.
make the picture.
And I'm trying to
That's
make the
why they don't
video.
even say who the DJ was.
Right.
Like,
They never look. They don't even tag you. You lucky you saw that.
you are eyesore.
Oh,
you are
man.
eyesore, and these people expensive. They don't pay all this money, and you over there looking like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
But
T.O.,
I try to make the video.
we definitely appreciate you joining us tonight. Appreciate you coming on and gracing us with your presence. It has been an absolute honor to be able to speak with you and chop it up. I mean, look, we've been talking and just talk. I didn't even have a script for tonight. Usually I have a script for the guests that come on. I didn't have a script. I was like, I'm just flying off the top. And look, we are like an hour and 45 minutes in, which is great. And time just flies when the guest is relatable. So it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And I hope these guys and the viewers, if you're watching this on repeat, I hope you guys found some gems in here. And if you're a female DJ, don't be afraid to step out there. You can be just as good as the others. Just trust in yourself. That's all I need.
Gem.
Right.
Just small gems as I go out, right? Be diverse. Try to be diverse.
Facts.
Be professional in all settings. How you look, how your equipment look, how you sound in all aspects. Play clean music, preferably. They might say it's okay not to, but the guests don't know that.
Right.
So now they looking at you crazy. And for females, I always give females this advice. It's not just okay to look good. You have to know how to DJ.
Thank you.
You can't rely on the fact that you're cute and, it's not a gimmick anymore. It's too many really dope DJs that you being cute is not enough.
Right.
Go twice as hard as the guys to be on the same level as them. So you got to go 3 to 4 times as hard to actually beat them. That's my
agree. I totally agree. Thank you so much. And I hope that this episode has definitely inspired somebody to step out there that maybe has been thinking about DJing, or if, like I said, if you're a female DJ, take these tips and be able to step out there and not compromise yourself. You can see it can be done. This is very apparent. It can be done. You do not have to compromise your morals to get ahead in a world that's predominantly male driven. You know what I'm saying? So take your time. Look, everybody gonna go through stuff, but we are here to help each other. And I promise you, if you are local here in the state and you've been watching this, we're gonna come up with something that's gonna be fantastic. I feel inspired after this show because I know we're gonna come up with something just absolutely fantastic that brings the community together. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're not enemies. We are a community. So once again, thank you, T.O., for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully we can have you back out again to give some more inspirational stuff, or you just be on the stream just because. Who knows?
I'm with it. Either way, right. I'm with it.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All
right, buddy. Oh, man, that was awesome. Hey, look, I told you guys we are going to have great content coming your way. Big shouts out to T.O. for coming out and dropping those gems and having just a great conversation today. If you were able to stick around, I hope you got some stuff out of it. And we're going to keep the train going because we have other guests that we have booked as well. And we are going to try some stuff DJ minded as far as doing stuff like those live streams like she mentioned, because I've got some new ideas from this show. So hopefully we're able to put those out and implicate those, but we'll talk about those on another episode. If you are joining us tonight, make sure you check out the Live at 5s every Wednesday, 5 p.m. EST on Twitch right here. DJ JayBook Live at 5 every Wednesday. I also had a poll in the chat, and let me end that poll and see who won. And it looks like this next one will be early 2000s hip hop. So you guys voted, and that's what we're going to put in. Early 2000s hip hop will be next week's theme. for the live stream at 5. Also, if you are not following me on Instagram, definitely do so. Follow TO as well, because we have all of our behind the scenes and all of our gigs. I've got a gig coming up. Christmas parties are here, so it is time to get ready for those. If you want to check out everything DJ JayBook, make sure you follow me on IG. And lastly, tons of mixes going up on Mixcloud. If you need music just to get you by, if you need music for workout, for walking, for exercising, whatever you need it for, I've got you right on Mixcloud at DJ JayBook. Check out the mixes and make sure you favorite them. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back again. Actually, next week is Thanksgiving. We probably will not have a show next week because Thanksgiving is here. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's tuning in, and we'll probably see you the week after, but I'll make sure I'll list it and let you know if we're going to definitely have a show or not. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Kill your gigs. If you've got gigs this weekend, remember, every gig is an audition for the next one. So absolutely destroy it. Make sure you're living to strive, not to survive. We'll see you again next time. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.